Hey everyone,
This is Mukul.
and this is Swapnil.
Welcome to Going Slow podcast, where we discuss our product journeys.
And also have casual discussions around life, universe, and everything in between.
Hey, hey,
Hello,
how's it going?
all
It's
good.
episode 3.
Yes, episode number 3. Let's start. How has your week
Yeah.
been?
Oh, my week, it was mostly filled with a lot of support requests, customer support. There were tons of support requests, and most of the week was just tackling those. When I remember my last week, I see only like, oh, I fixed that bug, then I fixed that another bug, and then I fixed then I fixed that third one. So yeah, but
Like, can I want to deep dive into the support request? Like, can you give me one example of a support request you got, and then what did you do to resolve it?
yeah, so there are two different types of support requests. One is if it's a bug in your system, like it's an appointment scheduling tool we are building, a point oh. If there is some corner case, we have those corner cases are specifically most of the time are related to time zones. So if we miss that, then basically we just have to recreate that issue and fix it for them. Second type of customer request comes from big clients. So for example, if big customer is trying to use your system and every customer has a unique requirement. So if some customer has a requirement which currently our system does not support, so we try to pitch them that if you are open to pay us this amount, we are happy to build one for you. That's like the two type of customer requests we get. Generally the second type of customer requests are something we look forward to.
Yeah, for
If
sure.
if someone is like looking forward to shell out extra amount per month, it's like an enterprise kind of thing, mini enterprise, where we try to build and maintain that solution and then we could charge a higher amount for them.
Yeah, that makes total sense, right? They're already your customers, they're already using your solutions, and now they have another requirement, and you basically build that for them. Yeah, that makes super sense. I'm just thinking like this makes super sense to us now, but when we started our journeys, this was something very unique. So
Yeah, it was totally different when we started. We just wanted someone to use it and pay for it. At certain point of time, we tried to put value on our time, because if we are building something specifically for one person, then it in the long term it doesn't turn out well for the software. So what we try to do is, if it's a very small feature or something a low effort kind of thing, we try to release it as soon as we can, so that it gets a good customer review or it gets a good customer impression. But for example, it requires some kind of effort. We let them know that, oh, this is a little bit difficult problem and it will cost some extra amount. So it's like a funded feature kind of thing. You take some amount to test the importance, how important is that feature to them. So to
right.
test that importance, you take some amount of money, and then if someone is willing to pay, then it gives you a motivation that, oh, then let's build it so that they are going to use definitely.
Right. It's that mom test in action, right? You directly ask your customers to put their money where their mouth is. You ask them, hey, okay, I see that you want so and so new features, but are you willing to pay money for it? And that is all we want. So yeah, definitely makes sense.
Yeah, in the past we have had calls with few customers which went on for subsequent 3 4 calls, but in the end it didn't turn out successful for us, and in those times we did not charge any amount upfront. So later we realized that it basically filters out, like if it is important, then, and our platform makes sure that we have a platform which has like good amount of reviews, then it gives them the confidence that if they are saying yes, it's possible, then they will do it. So one thing we realize after some time that it's not about you have that feature right now. It's just that if customer is saying that they want this feature and you're saying that yes, we can build it for you in next 2 days and next 3 days, they will trust you. They will not care what tech you use, what thing you care. I mean, if it currently exists or not, they'll just say that I have this problem, I want this solution. If it is not there right now, what can we do? So certain type of scenarios are really nice because it's just like a problem you're trying to solve, and it will just give you some amount of boost in your revenue too.
Right. And like you said, money sort of filters your customer requests as well. It tells you whether that feature is a painkiller or just a vitamin. If they're willing to pay money,
Yes.
definitely it's a pain and they want it to get solved at any cost. And as long as you can identify their pains and make solutions for them, you are in business. And I really like how you're approaching this. This feels like a support driven development in some sense.
Yeah, that was one of the best thing which happened to us. Kind of completed that loop that people started coming in, and then we started building out features, and then we started seeing, oh, users want this, users want that, and then we started building around that. Instead of saying, oh, people might want this, people might want that, we were just driving the whole experience from user feedback. So that kind of boosted up a lot the whole experience. We started as like appointment scheduling tool via Calendly, and you could connect your Calendly account with Shopify. It sounds good because Calendly is such an amazing tool, but after a few months we realized that many merchants do not use Calendly or
Mm,
are not aware of Calendly. So in that case, it's like a hurdle for them to create a Calendly account, then connect with Shopify and all those things. So it gets very difficult for them to manage everything. So at that point we realized, oh, this Calendly product is really better, but it's not perfect for us right now. So we might have to create our own solution. So that was the first step. Then we started building our own solution, and it really then jumped up the whole, it gave us like a exponential spike to our revenue.
right. Yeah, it's so um unintuitive to. So, for example, I could never have imagined that the merchants don't know about Calendly. All the people in my circle, everyone has a Calendly account. And when you say that they don't know about Calendly and therefore they don't want an extra step to sign up for that, basically that's friction for them. And you're sort of now integrating that within your product itself. So they don't need to do an extra
Yeah,
step now.
yeah, few funny things I would share. That's why I was like, that customer base is extremely different. If you know something, that doesn't mean that customer is on the same page with you. For example, if you think that feature is better, that doesn't mean that customer wants to use that same feature or wants that same experience. So for example, we don't send Zoom links, never, because most of the customers do not have a Zoom app in the system, and Zoom does not open in web. We see a hard drop in our video call when we started using Zoom.
Oh,
Then we started using Google Meet links, and that's why we use Google Meet links all the time, because it give, like, most of the people, it's very easy for them to basically join the Google Meet call. Also, we did one more thing which is counterintuitive, is we do not, so for example, if you're like scheduling a call with us on Calendly, then we ask phone number, and we do not generate Google Meet link by default. So the reason being, when we started generating Google Meet link and we are not taking their phone number, so many people were not showing the actual meeting at all because they were forgetting it. And I mean, there were like a lot of no shows. So we do a lot of manual things in a way that we take a phone number and we call them during the meeting time, and if they
oh,
are available, then we jump on a video call so that we could discuss. And it's a manual process, definitely, but and a little bit counterintuitive, but it has the highest convergence of, like, yeah.
Yeah, it's like Paul Graham says, do things that don't scale.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah, I feel like I have picked up a few things already, and these are learnings I wouldn't have by myself. So in some sense, this podcast has a ROI for me already. Third episode. So that's super.
It was mostly trying and testing, hit and trial from our side, and then we realized that in some cases manual intervention is a lot better than automation, so we started doing a lot of things manually in this case, because it is very important for us to get on a customer call. It helps us a lot to understand the whole process. It helps us a lot what the issue is and what exactly they are going through. Yeah, so that's it for me. What about you? How's your last week?
Yeah, it has been pretty good. I think you might have seen on Twitter. I am now very active on building out side projects. There are a lot of threads that I have been putting out in the last week. And yeah, this goes back again to the mom test, which says that you validate first and build later. So I started with an idea of building an anti book recommender. And like I call it anti reads for now. And while scoping it down, I realized that I don't need to build a full blown recommendation or an ML system in place. And I could just start with finding 5 to 10 popular books and recommending some books which challenge those beliefs. So that is how I scope down the MP2. And again, while tweeting it out, I think this is a very important thing, that when you actually write things down, it makes things clearer in your head. And when I actually wrote it down, I realized that maybe I don't even need to pick out 5 to 10 popular books. I could just replace them with beliefs. And my current MVP is that I have put down a belief. You tell me, do you agree with it or not? And based on that, I recommend you something to read. So, like, I did a poll on Twitter. I have a landing page at swapnil.net/anti-reads, and around 20 people have responded, and I have some data. So some of the beliefs I have put there are, one is related to validation itself, which is how do you go about side projects? Is it build, launch, then you market and build a community around it? Or the other thing is you market and build a community around it first, and then you figure out the problem, and then you build something for it. And majority of the responses are from the first category, and even I think we were there in the first category when we started out, which is, as developers we feel that we know everything and we know what the problem is, we know what the solution is. The hard part is just building. That's what our mindsets are. So we'll just go ahead and build it, and then nobody really comes. So yeah, I think this was one of the beliefs that I put there: keep build and users will come. If you sort of agree with this, then just drop everything and go read the mom test. And then I have two more belief book pairs as of now. And yeah, right now I'm sort of finding data and like putting more data in place. Yeah.
So basically, like it's like a website where you have specific questions and you have like options, and then if you select one of them, then you'll get a book recommendation.
Yeah. So that's the MVP for now. And yeah, if it sort of gains traction, and if we find out a good problem here, because what I feel is that just the identification of the belief won't help much. I feel that even after recommending a book, people will face difficulty in actually reading the book, because it's something that we don't do much after college or school. And so that is a hypothesis that people would need help in accountability. But yeah, I still want that thing to come from the users rather than me saying that, hey, here is a accountability based book club and we'll help you complete that book. I don't want to tell it upfront. So yeah, that's the path I'm choosing to validate. Yeah.
So, for example, if I select an option, something build and they will come, it will give me an opinion of something which is like very opposite of that, or like,
Correct,
right?
correct, correct.
Got it. Got it. Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool. The perspective, it's very amazing to sometimes realize what is the other perspective to get out of our own small world or our own bubble.
That's a tagline that any social network, be it Goodreads or Facebook or Twitter, anything, any social network is incentivized to recommend stuff that you already like because that's how they will get the most engagement out of you. And this sort of creates a bubble. And yeah, the tagline for Antireads is you we help you get out of your bubble, and we basically read books that challenge your point of views. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really interesting, like super interesting. Have you heard of Plato's allegory of cave?
No.
It's a small short story. Have you heard of it? It's very like I read it in during our college time, and it stuck with me. So I'll just tell a short version of it. Like for
Sure.
example, there are three prisoners tied up in the cave, and they're tied against the door. So they're facing the wall, and there is a gate through which light comes on. And whatever object passes through that gate, they see the shadow in front of their wall. So whatever object goes through that door, they see a shadow, and they think that it's real. Basically, that's the reality for them. So when a rabbit passes by, they see a shadow of rabbit, and they think, oh, that is the actual rabbit.
Hmm.
So every object that passes by, they saying, "Oh, that is the real thing, not the actual thing." Like they have
Oh,
forgotten that the actual world is something different. They realize that the actual world is this, not the one which is outside.
yeah, that's deep.
Yeah, one day one prisoners one there those there are like three prisoners. So basically, one prisoner gets free, and he accidentally get out of the cave, and he gets totally shocked. Like, whoa, what exactly is this? Like, this is not a rabbit. The rabbit was something which I used to see on the wall. This is something else. So it takes him a while to understand, no, this is like the actual world, and the world which I was seeing was something like a shadow. So it took him a while to understand. And once he gets it, he goes inside the cave and tries to tell his other two friends, basically, hey, this is not the real world is outside. The world which you are seeing is a shadow. But those two friends are so deep into their own world that they don't trust him because they are into their own world. They don't want to get out of their own zone, and then they don't want to get out of their own comfort zone. They basically say to him that no, this is our world, this is the world we live in, and we don't trust you. And they kind of they beat him.
Wow. Wow.
So yeah, that's like a, I would say, short version of the story, but it's really interesting. Like, if so, basically, at any point of time, I sometimes think like, where exactly are you? Like, are you facing the wall or are you outside?
Hmm. Yeah, that's a nice thing. I liked it. I'll definitely read more on that. This feels super interesting. But yeah, I
Mm.
definitely agree with
Yeah,
this
man.
thing that when whenever you're trying to pick a position, you should know the arguments for both sides. Otherwise, it's not an informed opinion. So yeah,
Yeah. Plus, opinions also have the context to it and all. So yeah.
rabbit hole altogether.
Yeah, because I remember like few years back, I had a very biased perspective towards lot of things, and then with time, it started to basically get bigger. But that's really nice initiative where you basically read a like an opposite point of view and get like, oh, okay, this might be something which is wrong with what I'm thinking, right?
Yeah, I would love to dive deeper here. Can you give me an example of some belief which you held on for a long time and changed in the last few years?
Yeah, I mean, like those are different kind of beliefs. For example, something like you can't start something of your own. You need certain qualifications. You need certain, I would say, history to start something of your own. Things like that, basically. I wouldn't say anything specific that comes to me right now. Sorry.
Okay, so I'll give an example.
Yeah.
So when I just graduated from college, I had this worldview that you should find your passion. You should just find out that one thing that will make you, wake up every day and go to work. And it did not happen for some time, and that sort of made me feel bad because I was always told that this is how it's supposed to be, that you need to find something you're very passionate about. And yeah, I did not have that in place. And then I came across this book called So Good They Can't Ignore You. In that book, Cal Newport makes his case against the passion hypothesis, and he sort of said a bunch of things which made me realize that it's too early, like I'm too early in my career to have found it, and it's okay if you haven't found it yet. So it was very comforting to me that you have time, you have a lot of time. Careers are 20, 25, 30 years long, and you've just started. So it's okay if you haven't found the thing yet. And that was very comforting. That laid off a lot of pressure off of me. And once I let go of that belief, then I was actually able to enjoy my work more. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good. That's interesting. I mostly like I think after switching, like after going full time on this. Previously, it was something like I am working on some developer role. I'm a software engineer, something at this company. Then the next role I'll have is software engineer next at some other company. So I always at that point of time always used to think that, oh, this is like how it will be. Like I'll be in this route, and now that I can now I would like it has opened some new perspectives where I think I want to try some new things too, which are different from the development part or like the thing I was doing for last 5 years. Now open to try out some new different things, hoping to generate revenue out of it and stuff, but hoping to live that other life too, basically. So yeah, I mean that is like a perspective expansion, I would say, not shift. But yeah, I think in that case.
Right. So
So did you launch one more side project, right? Like not just
that was lowlights, right? That we talked about in the last.
low lights and Androids. Got it. So how are you reaching out to people, or is it like totally organic?
Nothing comes organic, man. I realized that people need a lot of push to share vulnerable stuff. I have been in DMs with so many people, and they say that, hey, I'll do that over the weekend, I'll do that in the next 2 days, I'll do it tonight, and still they haven't filled it out yet. I understand this is there's a fine line. It's like they want to filter out stuff. Obviously, everyone thinks the same. I've also filtered out stuff. I've also not written everything there. So yeah, I think people are just what I think is they're just filtering out, okay, this is something they're comfortable sharing out publicly. So that's the first question I get. Hey, will this like where will this be shared? And I'm like, this would be on a website, and this might also be shared on Twitter. Like people might tag you, and then they go into that mode. Okay, maybe yeah, they want to decide first what they want to put out there.
Like why don't you have an anonymous version of it, like blinds and stuff?
I thought of doing that, and I think a few people sort of had the same feedback. But then what I feel is you don't really relate to anonymous things. For anonymity, Reddit is there, right? You'll find all possible stuff you can think of on Reddit. There's literally no question that you can have and you won't find this stuff there. So you'll find answers on Reddit, but I feel when you put a face to to a low light, I think that is much more relatable. Let's say if you put something there and someone who's listening to this podcast, they go see that Mukul's low light is this, then they're able to connect to you more because they have been following you. But if it's like just an anonymous thing, there's no authenticity anymore. And I feel that defeats the whole purpose. So yeah, what do you
Got it.
think?
There is like one argument that comes to my mind is like there are many people who are successful and had lowlights in their past, but they don't really care about followers. They would like to share what they have done and everything, but they are not very active on social media, and they are not very active on Twitter. They are very active if you talk to them personally. In such cases, I think it's a little bit difficult to incentivize them, I guess,
Hmm,
because they don't have that brand right on
right.
online. So if someone relates but don't know them, then it actually, I guess, will not add value in that case, I guess.
Right. Those people are not the target audience for now because how it got started was it was started as an opposite to what you see on social media. So you
Ah,
see 10 things by some person who's posting win after win there, and then you start making these assumptions in your head that their lives are perfect and all that thing. So that's how it got started, that even people whom you see or whom you sort of respect or whatever on social media, they also have their lowlights. It's an attempt to humanize them.
got it. Now that makes sense to me. Got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like an alternative version, like the anti, the things that are going right and things that have gone wrong. Say
Yeah.
nice. Thanks for listening. If you liked it, tag us on Twitter. Handle is Going Slow Pod. If you didn't like it, DM us. We would love to know what you would like to hear more of. See you next time. Until then, stay curious and have fun.
Bye bye.